Hey there everybody, welcome back to Rule of Rose. Last time we narrowly somehow avoided getting buried alive, but we now find ourselves bound in some mysterious room and, well, kind of pondering if some other horrible fate is awaiting us. And being as we are bound, we are very limited in our movements. We actually can't access our inventory. And really all we can do is wiggle left, right, backwards and forwards. Maybe we're loosening the ropes. Or maybe we're just horribly unlucky.
Good morning, Jennifer. How do you feel? Let's have a little chat, shall we?
Yeah, I guess we can have a chat.
Good girl. Jennifer, you know you've been a bad girl. And bad girls need to be punished, don't they?
Yeah, that is true. They need to be punished, but I don't know if I'm really a bad girl.
A bad girl who's not sorry, Anyway, I'll be the one giving the orders around here, okay?
Well, no, that's not okay at all. Who are you?
Silly girl. You still don't understand. Well, you will before long. Now, I'm going to give you your first order. Every month you need to find a gift and bring it to the Aristocrat Club. If you don't, I'll kill you. Is there anything about this that you don't understand?
Yes, I don't really understand the whole part about being killed.
Yes? Oh well, it doesn't really matter what you say. You see, Jennifer, there are really only two kinds of people in the world. Those who take orders and those who give them. And from now on, I'll be giving the orders. Not fair? Well, dear Jennifer, nothing's fair here. You will follow my orders or else. For I am the prince, and the prince rules. This is your life, but you'll play by my rules. Let the games begin, dear Jennifer.
Congratulations indeed. Well, I think the first thing I actually want to do is take a quick gander at this prince that's just given us this horrible decree. Certainly doesn't seem like a very imposing figure. I guess maybe we could try to go reason with him. Maybe the whole threatening of death thing was just a joke. Also, we see a shiny object here, the scissors that cut us free. But even if we stand on our tippy toes, we're unable to reach them. Well, at least reach them as of right now. So I guess we should go ahead and, well, we can actually see the box we came here in, with the bits of dirt and grass that we were almost buried alive in. We also see a sack which, well, may have been holding that dog we heard barking. I don't know, let's go ahead and start exploring. But before we do that, something, well, seems to catch our eye, and it's a talking bucket. How strange. Yeah, the talking bucket wants us to do a quick little task for him, and he'll actually give us a nice little reward if we happen to, well, place him atop that nearby rickety-looking scarecrow. And that's a simple enough task, and, you know, one good turn deserves another, I suppose. So with the bucket now in place, we're introduced to another game mechanic that's, well, in most games, but not in such a way that we're getting right now. This is the Bucket Knight. You can tell from his regal demeanor, and he seems to know, well, even more about us than we seem to know. But the Bucket Knight actually has a very specific and very important purpose in the game, not only to help us remember, but also to help us keep track of things that we've done. That's right, the Bucket Knight is actually going to be our save points for the game. We'll see them strewn throughout multiple areas of wherever we might be. The Bucket Knight will also give us hints in case we get lost, but, well, I got a good feeling we won't be too lost. But with our knight now back in order, let's go ahead and start exploring, figure out where we are. Well, there's certainly a dark, inky abyss around us. Maybe this note will shed some light. Not especially. Note does refer to someone named Headmaster. Perhaps there is some weird hierarchy here that we're not really familiar with yet. We also see here another mention of the Aristocrat Club and some group called the Red Crayon Aristocrats. Kind of wondering if we really want to be a part of whatever this Red Crayon Aristocrats and Aristocrats Club. But I get the impression at this point we really don't have a choice. Much like in our course of direction right now, we're pretty limited to where we can go. Really, the best way we know to, well, the best way we know which way to go is just by following these rather prominent signs. And by following these signs to this upper floor, we actually find, well, a pretty interesting sign here. I think this is where we want to be. Now, in this first class area, we do see even more poster boards up. They give us a little bit more information about this rather odd hierarchy I think we're going to have to deal with soon. We see the Refine class here, but we don't see our name. No, our name is at the very, very bottom of the lower class. We're apparently defined as a beggar. I don't actually recall begging for anything, but, well, our memory seems to be a bit fuzzy right now. You also see another, well, breakdown of the royalty, even though this one also specifies that there is a prince and princess above the duchess, countess, and baroness. But as to who they are, we aren't really for certain right now. The only thing that is yet reaffirmed is that, well, beggar, which is what we are, is at the very, very low end of the totem pole. And this final piece of writing actually gives us a little bit more of a breakdown regarding that whole gift-giving thing that we were decreed earlier and, well, almost threatened with. Pretty much this is going to be our primary goal throughout the game, is to find these aforementioned gifts. And it seems that there is a rather high standard for these gifts, and, well, we're going to have to meet that, otherwise we're going to be killed. So at the end of this rather lavish hallway, we happen across a box and a rather odd-looking door. By examining the box, we can actually see that there's a little slot here to put things into. And we also notice that there is a rather crudely drawn poster. And this is actually how we find out about what gift we have to get for the month. This time it's a beautiful butterfly. But we actually don't have a butterfly, so I guess we're going to have to leave. But before we leave, we are almost accosted by this talking door. I guess just in case we didn't read the poster or the numerous placards nearby, we are yet reaffirmed that if we want to join this aristocrat club and keep our lives, we're going to have to give this door a butterfly. But before we go butterfly hunting, maybe we should talk to some of these other people. Maybe they can give us more information about this horrible prince. And just who are these two sitting in the library, seemingly enjoying a good book? Well, as of right now, we're not actually going to be able to find that out. The most we can do for this particular door is just look in the keyhole, and the other door leading into the library is actually blocked off. Meanwhile, in the sick bay, we actually happen upon... oh, it's an adult. This is quite the first.
Dirty wretch! Why are you always shirking your duties?
But rather oddly, we're given a rather sour greeting. Seems like he seemed to know us. Maybe Clara here will be a little bit more helpful.
How dirty?
Is the room dirty? Is Jennifer dirty? I'm just left to wonder, and rather oddly. If we try to search in that nearby cabinet, Clara decides to stop us. Well, I guess we should just continue on our journey and... Well, you know what? I kind of remember that there was a butterfly downstairs in what looked like some kind of luggage compartment. But before we head down there, we actually have access to a rather large set of windows. Yeah, even though the creaking we heard before and the rather odd shifting of the camera seemed to allude to maybe being on a boat, as if we were shanghaied, instead it appears that we're actually on some rather large dirigible or airship. Yeah, I'm wanting to say down here in the Sector 8 or Section 8 cargo hold, I think I saw a butterfly before. But as one would expect, we're not the only ones trying to get the gift for the month. But now giving chase, we can further explore the rest of this rather odd airship. What the hell? Yeah, that appears to be a dog strung up from the ceiling. Who on earth could have done this to this poor animal? Probably that wretched and awful prince that threatened us before. Sadly, as of right now, we don't really have a means of helping this dog. We can only reflect on the fact that, well, we kind of shared its same horrible fate beforehand. But maybe in one of these nearby rooms will be something to get that dog down. Sadly, we do not find something to get the dog down, but we do find a map of the airship. This will actually come in fairly handy due to the fact that the airship, as opposed to the orphanage, is actually much more sprawling and can actually get kind of confusing. As you can see here, there are quite a number of sections, and, well, we are going to have to go through pretty much all of them. For right now, though, well, we have a number of things we kind of need to do. We still need to find a butterfly, and, well, and now I feel really obligated to get that poor dog down. I mean, for all I know, that's Jennifer's dear, dear friend. Wow, maybe this person will be willing to help us get that dog down.
Yes, she is a pain.
What did... I didn't even do anything. Am I being a pain to these chickens? Well, it appears that Eleanor isn't going to be of any help. And there actually is another livestock area over here. Maybe we can find some useful item in here.
You're the new girl, aren't you? I'm Wendy. It's nice to meet you.
Well, Wendy, it's nice to meet you too. It's, well, good at least to meet a pleasant face, but I don't know if being sick and around all these animals is probably the best place to be for you. And yet again we see that rather large girl that was chasing after our butterfly. Diane, do you know who that girl was?
She's such a pain.
And yet again we are just given that rebuttal. Can't really tell if it's truly directed at Jennifer or maybe to someone else. Well, hey there, little boy. What's going on? Perhaps you've seen a butterfly?
A new girl! A new girl!
Yeah, I get the feeling that he isn't really on the same butterfly hunt that we are. Oh, and it's another adult. Maybe she'll be a little bit more receptive than the teacher we ran into earlier.
Filthy wretch.
Yeah, I'm getting the definite feeling that all these negative words are definitely directed to Jennifer. Are you okay, little girl? Even though I feel really awful about this crying girl, there is that butterfly we've been looking for. Guess we should go ahead and try and take it.
You deserve to be gobbled up.
Jesus, what is wrong with everyone? Well, at least we have that butterfly we were looking for. We also receive our first weapon of the game. That's right, there is combat in the game. And our first weapon is a fork. But more importantly, we do receive our gift for the month, so that's great. We're not going to be killed now. But just to show the combat effectiveness of a fork, let's go ahead and show that off. Maybe we won't have to do that much combat. Let's hope so. We also find a rather odd copper leaf. Seems to be a part of something larger. And also, the reason that this particular little area is called Clover Field is due to these painted on doors. Each one has a increasing length. Each one has a particular clover on it with a particular number of leaves. But that doesn't matter. We have our butterfly. And that means that we are heading back to the first class area, but before we reach there, we run into yet another new child? Nope, on our way back we run into our first bit of combat, and if I may be so bold, the combat in this game is nigh on the worst experience ever. Now, while the enemies are not overly difficult, the actual combat is, well, atrocious. Let's go with that. Thankfully, quite a bit of it can actually be skipped, or in this case, is just incredibly simplified, so we can actually, well, as you saw there, massacre that little imp. And we can now safely make our way and give our offering.
She wanted to find a fork, but she was too unlucky. Once upon a time, there was an unlucky girl. All she wanted was to be happy. So she went to a clover field. She found a one-leaf clover, but she dropped it on the road. She found a two-leaf clover. It slipped into the shadows. She found a three-leaf clover, but a witch hid it away. She wanted to find a four-leaf clover, but she was too unlucky. Once upon
So with that rather bizarre tail out of the way, let's go ahead and use this green butterfly. Well, we don't actually use it. It actually does nothing. What we want to do is use and make an offering to the box. Yeah, it appears as if our journey to find this butterfly is not going to be as simple as that. It really seems like that door has pretty high standards, but, well, we have to do what we have to do to get by. We also find a key to one of those clover leaf doors we saw before, so I guess that's where we're going to be headed next. And here we actually get a copy of the story we were hearing read to us earlier in the hallway. It's kind of hard to get the actual meaning of the story, or if it has one at all, or if it's just merely to be symbolic of something we're going to have to do in just a little bit of time. If anything, it just seems like the harder and harder you look for luck, the more and more unlucky you become. But that's neither here nor there. We have a door to go open, and it's going to be quite a bit of a journey. One of the faults I would say with this particular game is just the amount of backtracking we're going to have to do, but I will do my best to edit that out. That is, unless of course something important happens on the way back. So, with access to the room where the prince was looking on to us through what appears to be a cat eye, we can now access the button he was using and actually gain access to those scissors that freed us earlier. And with access to those scissors, maybe we're going to be able to finally free that poor dog. And seemingly, much like all other inanimate objects on this airship, this one magically talks to us. And even though it does seem to give some whimsical information, it does so with a bit of dark whimsy. It seems to know that something ahead of us is going to be causing us quite a bit of pain. But actually, by this point in this chapter, we're actually becoming kind of heavy with items, and that allows us to use some other new item, or some other new part of the game, which is the trash can. Yes, in this magical airship, we have a magical trash can that actually has a bottomless pit inside of it that allows us to actually store as many items as we want. And this is especially good as we are going to be getting quite a few items over the course of the game, and well, we're not going to be able to fit it all into only 12 inventory slots. So we can go ahead and dump off everything we don't need, such as the maps and the stories we've already picked up. Also, we're not really gonna need that tattered butterfly anymore. So I think that should be everything that we need for right now. So let's go ahead and go free that poor dog. And just like that, we easily free a extremely happy dog from its rather unpleasant bindings. But something does seem amiss. The dog, well, just seems to stand here. I mean, it doesn't seem afraid. It just seems like it's wanting something. But as to what it is wanting, we're going to have to find that out in the next update. Hopefully you'll join me then.